I try and paint every day.
Right.
So it's like any muscle, you have to keep doing it
I see.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work one painting at a time, or sometimes you work multiple?
No, I'll have, I'm generally working on only one at a time, but I'll have multiple paintings on the go. So I'm always looking at them out of the corner of my eye, and sometimes you see what it needs in the middle of the painting you're working on. It just, will talk to you, and you see what you didn't see before. Right. So for me, it's important to have a lot of them out and on the go. Right. Because the time that you're reflecting on it is actually, I think, just as critical as the time you're actually painting. Right. In fact, I'm learning that more and more. Like, there's so much looking. There's so much looking you have to do. Right. As an artist, you're of your time. You cannot help but be affected by the time in which you live. And we're, in a new era of a new war. And, those things outside the studio are never not inside the studio. But I think that in the studio, it's where the work that I'm doing is to try and bring, it's my little sense of balance to a world that feels less and less in balance. So I think that I want to be aware of what's going on outside, but the work maybe is not directly reflecting that, but it's in the work. It's still in the work. The cycle of life and death, the cycle of regeneration, those things are ever present in my work. Emotions are, like the weather, they come and go. I think that to find stability is to enter fully whatever emotion is passing through. So I think that sometimes I'm fully in the struggle of it. Sometimes I'm very frustrated, and other times you can feel, even like almost a runner's high. You have that sense that the painting is coming through you, that you're not actually even aware of. You're making unconventional color choices, maybe, and kinds of things that you couldn't consciously, maybe, choose. So I think that there's a fluctuation. Yeah, but I find it a lot of struggle most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but when you completed the painting, like those two paintings behind you, and it seems to be you're very happy with both paintings, right?
I think that these paintings came from, the experience of a beautiful day. It was a beautiful spring day, very blustery, very kind of a stormy, energetic feeling actually in the environment, like hiking in our West Coast. And I think these paintings came from that experience. They actually were quite a struggle. Maybe, when your painting is successful, maybe the struggle looks hidden. You don't see it, you just see how it landed, not the steps to get there. But even though this panel or this painting, I felt that it was finished, and it was remaining so seemingly for a period of about 3.5 months. And then I suddenly felt where it wasn't quite singing. There was a bit of a wrong chord, and I went in and changed it. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're kind of always living. They're always alive, and then, until it's taken out of the studio, it could still be changed often. Yeah, but I feel that these are very harmonious and have arrived at a very complete place. Towering show. Really amazing to see the work up close.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Because you saw her work, do you feel something inside of you change?
Wanting to, approach the work very courageously, as she did, like with a new degree of bravery. Like her work was so bold, and she took such risks in it. And I think that, for painting to be really working, that has to happen.
Right.
Not that I've been unafraid to take risks, but I think that, you know, it just was inspiring to see the level at which those, she had taken those paintings, and just to always be pushing for more.
Right.
If you're really at the edge of a new discovery, you never know what's coming next. You're just following the arc of your intuition, you're following what the work is telling you, you're following, you know, by doing the work, you're learning where your work is going, and you just follow that directive. I mean, I think that, you know, that's why I think you need to act with a great deal of courage, because, you know, you don't know what's coming toward you. You have to just keep following the questioning. You have to keep asking the questions. There are no, you know, definitive answers. That's what art making is. You're just posing yourself questions, which you continually are striving to answer. As soon as you feel you've partially answered that question, there's more questions. You can't say everything in one painting. You're just exploring that feeling, or you're exploring that idea. So you're making, you know, paintings in a series that work with that quality.
Right. Yeah. Like even to me, this one seems to be led to this painting.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And then, you know, this is a later painting, but it still has that, you know, it's like things are coming into being and falling away all of the time. That's why the painting is, you know, have periods places that are much more abstract, and some parts that are, you know, more fully formed, like you can say those are flowers, but really it's the energy that's underneath everything that is arising and coming into fruition and then falling away, and, you know, going back into the void from where it came. You know, I think one thing that's different from the show 2 years ago is that the palette is quite different. I think the show a couple of years ago was kind of more ephemeral. These are, I feel, much more strong in the definition and color, and much more impasto. So there's
application of paints seems to be quite different.
Yeah, these are much more layered. I think that, you know, back in 2020, everything was just so fluid and everything was very uncertain. And, you know, maybe that's why the paint application was also much more fluid. There was pouring and staining and, you know, really kind of different. And this is much more layered, a lot more oil stick,